Hey guys, what's going on? So I got this old snap sitting on the bench, and I thought I'd go over it. I know a lot of you watch my channel for all the old school stuff that I used to do and still kind of do, not as active as I once was, but I still do it. So anyways, I thought we'd do an overview on this, as there's really no good overviews on a snap available. All the pictures on Nerf Haven are pretty much gone. And I think Aeromech only ever went over rainbow blasters briefly. So, yep, for anyone that wants to build one of these or just wants a look at some old technology, see where the hobby came from, this is a Pumpsnap, which is Nerfomania's original design. Sort of a collaboration from a number of parties, if you really think about it, but he's who took the pretty ghetto snap and refined it to this, which was, and I guess still is, a pretty nice blaster. I've always preferred rainbows over the clothespin trigger, but you need significantly less tools to do this. You can pretty much get everything at the hardware store, and they're definitely cheaper to build. Not as durable, but if you make a good one, it does last a long time. Like, this is many thousands of shots. So anyways, the plunger rod, full K26. The plunger rod is CPVC, which is just plumbing tubing. And then you have a end cap sort of bushing deal that gets screwed into the blaster. And then this is a 3.0 style of prime. So there'll just be two bolts that would grab onto this in the pump. And we can actually look at that later. But so what's happening here is there's a, let's see if we can position you correctly. There's a nail inside the blaster that moves up and down as you pull the trigger. So this here is what we would call your ramp. And as you prime the blaster, the nail would hit off of this epoxy ramp, push the trigger down, and then when it finishes the ramp, it would fall into this groove here, which would have the spring compressed, and that's what gives you your plunger volume. And that's just a metal washer. It's two metal washers, and this is all built around a CPVC end cap. So that's just epoxy with a CPVC end cap and two washers. Most people used to do what's called a superlative plunger head, and if anyone wants to know, I can show you how to build those, but they're really not very good. They're just made from rubber washers, very cheap, available at the hardware store. Just a rubber washer. But I never liked them. I use U-cups, or I used to use U-cups. I don't use these anymore, and I don't build them anymore because it's just not overly relevant anymore. But anyway, that's your plunger rod. And one of the big reasons this gets such fantastic performance is the OD of the CPVC is like almost perfect for this spring. So the spring is staying very, very straight, and it's just giving you pure force. Like, it's not buckling and fluttering around. So snaps always, for me anyways, have performed really, really well. And the plunger rod is quite light considering it's hollow CPVC. Slightly less durable than a rainbow, but I've really never broken one. You know, I know I keep saying they're not as good as rainbows, but I've actually never broken one that was like from use. It's always been from like misuse, and it's never really been the trigger. Like, I built nice snaps, so you can't overdraw the trigger. Like, the handle is close enough to the trigger that that's the limit, and you can never rip it out. If you have too much space here and you can pull this out of the blaster, you'll ruin your snap very quickly. And this is literally just a clothespin that's been reinforced with epoxy putty and mechanically fastened to the body, and then I just have a little polycarbonate trigger here. And you can probably recognize that this is just a Maverick handle. I don't know what color this originally was, but I really liked the yellow, and I guess I didn't have a yellow, so I actually just painted whatever this one was to the stock end strike colors. So yeah, and that's mechanically fastened through the top, so you would basically just get a little piece of wood, hot glue it into this, put some screws into your wood, and then now you got some wood to screw from the top. So it's all really rigid, and the epoxy putty is just sort of for cosmetics, and it also helps with strength, I'm sure. Front, you have your sort of traditional NIC bushing, your 1-inch snap bushing, which is very standard. Now, the reason this is apart is because the pump actually got broken many years ago. I lent it out to a younger kid at a war that I was hosting, and from what I can tell anyway, they had fired the blaster with the pump sort of not quite all the way home. Like, they probably fired it one-handed and the pump was back here a little bit. So when the plunger rod started flying forwards, it just hit those two bolts that are normally there, and it just shattered. So it basically got out of commission that day, and I never used it since. But we have Hell Before Halloween coming up, which is a old school, no magazines war. So I'm just sort of tuning up my old hoppered blasters, and as you can see, I'm remaking the pump here, and it's just a piece of 1.5-inch thin wall PVC. The normal 1.5 does not sleeve over the 1.25. You got to get this stuff. I don't know if you can tell what it is from these markings, because this is, yeah, this is just saying who made it. But you're basically, so normal schedule 40, which is what this is, won't fit, and this is lighter than schedule 40. Like, the wall is thinner. If you ask for thin wall PVC at the plumbing supply, depends what hardware store you go to. You might have to go to an actual plumbing supply. They'll know what you're talking about. You say thinner than schedule 40, and they'll bring you out this, most likely. That's what I did. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna get this pump cut out just like this one, and I'll probably re-sand everything down and probably repaint this, lube everything up, and then maybe we'll take a few shots and look at it when it's assembled.